Yo, what's good with y'all? It's Keymajor, and today I'm showing you guys how to make some dark beats for Trippie's new album, specifically the song called Fully Loaded, produced by REDDA. There's another comment I also saw on how to make beats for REDDA, so this is kind of a REDDA tutorial as well. But anyways, yeah, today I'm showing you guys how to make beats in that style. Straight to it. So every single sound that I used in here comes from my Coding Files Volume 1 multi-kit with Keyon. If you guys want any of these sounds, make sure you guys go cop this kit. It'll be the first link in the description down below. So the beat in that song is very, very fast. The tempo of the song is 180, so I matched it to 180, and then I picked Spider instead of the strings folder. It's just a very short staccato string, and then I laid this down. This is how it sounds with no effects. So this pattern is very, very simple. The first thing I started with is this pattern right here. Basically what I did is just going down the scale. So we started with C sharp, then it goes down to G sharp, and I just took the C sharp and I copied it down an octave, and then the very last note is just going back to A. When you use notes that are right next to each other, it causes a lot of tension and really gives it that dark feel. And then all I did to get these notes up here is I took the bottom notes, copied them up an octave, and I did Alt Y to flip horizontally. All I did is I deleted the C notes and I just left the top notes right here, and that's how I basically came up with the top melody, just flipping the bottom. And then this really added that dark feel to it. And now it's basically a very fast, dark, repetitive pattern. That's what you want to look for. And then this is how it sounds with the effects. So as you can see, it sounds a lot more filtered out, like a pad. In the song, the main effect that I could hear them using is Effectrix. So if you guys want that exact same sound, it's inside of Effectrix, inside the factory backwards vocals. Everybody knows this preset, it's a classic preset. And then I added ambient reverb, just any reverb you can use just so it's not so dry. And then the first EQ is taking out all the lows, of course making room for like the 808 and stuff. And the second EQ is just filtering out the strings so they sound muffled and vintage and old. If you guys want to learn how to make your melodies sound vintage, like Q Beats or Frank Dukes, make sure you guys will check out my recent video. It'll be in the top right of the screen. But other than that, that's really all the effects I added. Very, very simple. Next, I layered it with this chicken breast pad, and then this is how it sounds with no effects. It's the exact same notes, everything's the same, just layering it to make it sound more full. And this one covers more of the highs, and then I basically put it in the exact same mixer track so it has the exact same effects, and this is how that sounds. So that really helped make it sound more full, and like I said, cover more of the highs. And then last song I added is this dominant synth instead of the synths and leads. And then for the effects, I added Portal on here. Then I went to the Distra kit, selected this preset right here. And then lastly, just this EQ, taking all the lows and lowering some of the mids. And then I wanted this sound to take up all the highs, so I raised up a lot of the highs. And then this is how it sounded after the effects. So it definitely sounded more glitchy, and it gave the sound a lot more rhythm. So all I did is I just exported that into this blue wave file right here, and that was basically it. This is how the melodies sound all together. Very dark, very fast, and repetitive. That's what you want to go for to get that like fully loaded sound, REDDA sound. But other than that, now we can get into the drums. The melody is very simple. The drums are a little more complex than the melody, but they're still very, very simple. I first started with this clap called Bright Sight. So a very, very simple pattern. And then after that, I added the hi-hat, and I selected the horror hi-hat. I wanted to make sure I found like a very short, tight hi-hat, similar to the one that REDDA used in the beat. Now, before I do show the pattern, one of the key things I did with the hi-hat to give it that like REDDA sound is I made sure I put cut itself, and then I changed the envelope to look like this. So I took the attack down and the release down. So what that's gonna do is basically when the note cuts off, the hi-hat is gonna just completely cut off. And you could tell that when you hear REDDA's beats. If you do not make your envelope sound like this, or you don't put cut itself, stuff on, when you get to the really low notes, the hi-hat is just gonna play for like a long time. It's gonna sound very muddy. And then for the hi-hats, I just went in 1/4 step and I made really short rolls like he did in the song. But then that was basically it. I mean, the beat was very simple, but just for this beat, I added 3 little perks in the background, but these aren't even in the song. But the first perk I added is this X to reload, kind of like a very distorted reload. And the next one I added is hopper, and then this growl. So it has a lot of like cool perks in here you could also use. And then lastly, the 808. So I used 2 808s in this one. I first used the plug V2 808, and then there's a switch up in the beat where I did use this 808. But for the first one, this is how the pattern sounds. So this is like almost identical to the pattern he makes in the song. It's just a very fast, repetitive pattern. And then at the end, he'll pitch it up an octave. And then I just like to turn down the velocity, give it more bounce, or you can just have it fully blasted. It's up to you. The second half, the pattern's a little bit different. I just added these notes that went up 1 note, and then I added these notes as well. So yeah, just very small differences. I know REDDA likes to do that a lot in his beats. He'll have a lot of switch ups. Then the very last pattern, I just copied the same pattern over. I just put it onto the other 808. The 808 is very heavy, really dark. When it comes to the mixing and the drums you want to choose, a lot of REDDA beats are just very loud, especially the hi-hat. The hi-hat gives his beats a lot of bounce, and the hi-hat is always like very loud. So really not that much mixing you have to do except just leveling it and just making it sound loud. That was pretty much it. We had a couple switch ups throughout the beat. I really did no EQing on the drums because they already sound good. They're already perfect. All the sounds in this kit are already mixed and processed, so you don't have to waste your time doing any of that stuff. And on the master, all I had is this soft clipper where the threshold is at -13, the post is at 90, so it's making it sound louder. And then down here on the stock EQ, I'm just lowering the lows a tiny bit and I'm raising the highs, so beat is a lot more clean and crispier. And that's basically it. This is the final beat. So yeah, it's very up-tempo, very hard, very dark, very fast. Hopefully you guys learned something from this tutorial to copy on your own beats, or hopefully you guys do go cop the kit so you guys have all these nice sounds, drums, and one-shot kits, bonus samples. It'll be the first link in the description down below. But with that being said, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos. It's important you leave a like on this video so it spreads out to more people with the algorithm. But yeah, if you guys want me to make any more tutorials about REDDA or any more tutorials about the Trippie Red album, any other songs specifically, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to have a video on that very soon. But yeah, man, I appreciate all the support lately, and I'll see you guys in the next video.